We're in the green. Last quarter, the stock got punished because the comparables were pretty tough. Solid year last year. I was digging through the statement this morning. Once again, the FX impact, the strong pound, is going to weigh on earnings, 10, 11 million pounds for the full year. You worried about that? What's happening in the exchange market, foreign exchange market? Couldn't care less.
You have to focus on things you can focus on. And fundamentally for us, it's good sales growth, it's better profit growth, and it's excellent cash. So, and as an FD, having the excellent cash as the last phrase is always useful. I think it's the uniformity of the growth. 18 countries, more than 10% growth. It's a really good market out there.
When I look at the breakdown across regions, that's been pretty solid for a while now, particularly in Australia.
Yes.
When I look at the numbers coming out in terms of growth, though, the majority of the business comes from the temporary side of the business, which is the temporary hires, 57%. That increase there, some 6%. The permanent business, though, the smaller side of the business, is getting the stronger growth. Is that a theme you expect to continue?
Yeah, I mean, that's been now for 18 months. The minute economic growth accelerates, it will all move to permanent growth. So for us, in this part of the economy where there's strong economic growth, there's good candidate confidence, we expect to see permanent growth about 2 times temporary growth. Why? There's a lot more people that haven't changed jobs for 4, 5, 6 years, confident enough to come back to the market. The recovery started in the technical specialisms, construction, property and IT. That's still very strong. But things like accountancy and finance, much more cautious candidate market, also doing good, strong growth. The nice thing is the uniformity across the world.
When we talk about Europe, and we'll do that in a moment, I want to talk about the UK just very quickly and the budget announcements yesterday. As you say, the strong part of the business in the sectors has been in construction. You see some of the policies weighing on housing stocks yesterday. Then you see this headline about a living wage.
Yes.
What do those kind of policies from the budget mean for your business?
I'm not sure it has a direct impact on our business because we're in the professional white-collar space. But if you stand back, it's a good job we've got decent growth.
Yeah.
Because fundamentally, if you're going to increase the cost of labour into market without increasing unemployment, you need economic growth. The real acid test is going to be in the retailers, isn't it? Because if you think about the amount of people in stores, in the logistics supply chain, who are on minimum wage or slightly above, so it feels like there's going to be a bit more inflation because the retailers will pass it on. There'll be a bit more inflation. We'll probably be talking about interest rate increases in a couple of years' time. As long as growth continues, I think it's manageable. But, I mean, there were some real surprises in the budget.
But we should think about that because the focus has been so much on the budget deficit and what tighter fiscal policy means for monetary policy. Are you saying that we could see some strong wage inflation come through from the back of those policies?
Well, I'm not sure. I think there's 2 bits.
Yeah.
About a year ago, I'd been phenomenally confident this year wage increases in the UK would be about 3%. But, of course, since then, we've had oil price go down and a disappearance of inflation.
Of course.
So I think we're seeing much more clients now at 2%. I just think what went on yesterday, if you really think it through, it's trying to push some direct costs across the companies, almost offsetting welfare going down, costs coming into company, and then offsetting it by reducing corporation tax. So there's some real innovative things in there that a lot of businesses have to think about. The real good thing longer term is phenomenally competitive UK corporation tax rate at 18%. Makes the UK a much better place to do business than the US or Germany or Australia. You know, my business pays corporation tax in excess of 30% in a lot of those countries. So I think there's some good things to feel cheerful for the UK.
To go across to the other side of the channel and look at France and look across Europe, the business has done incredibly well across mainland Europe, despite the concerns over Greece. As I sit here knee-deep in Greece and the tragedy that is the Greek economy for a lot of the Greek people, for your business, and take me back to 2010, 2011, and the channel for what we would call contagion in the markets, a little bit different for the real economy. What are you worried about?
Look, in 2010, I think it was so soon after Lehman's, the job market was just recovering and it sent all companies and candidates back into the bunker. And therefore, we're driven by candidates having enough confidence to change jobs. That's stopped. I just think you can never create a shock again to an economy the same as last time. We've been talking about Greece for so long. Greece weakness, Greece exit is in the psyche in the job market. I personally think it'll be broadly irrelevant to the broader economy. You know, in many respects, I'd much rather Merkel, Holland, etc., focus on the bigger European economies, you know, the 98% of European GDP rather than the 2% of it. Clearly, it's an issue for Greece itself, but quite frankly, for the rest of Europe, let's go on and drive growth across Europe. The economy at the moment feels really good. And if I give you a good example, we're the 2nd largest recruitment company in Spain. We've got a big business there. It's our 10th largest business. We were up 52% in this quarter versus the prior year. That is a lot of candidates saying, you know what, the world might not be great, but I'm going to get on and make my life better. I'm going to change jobs. By doing that, I'll get a pay rise. All those things, housing markets, retail, etc. So I think currently there's some really good underlying economic activity. activity in Europe.
We literally have 30 seconds left, and my final question to you would be, typically you feel the pain first in your business.
Yes.
You also feel the economy turn first. We've talked about that a lot in the past. But as you tour Europe right now, are you experiencing any pain, any change in attitude at all?
No. Europe is strong. We've got, you know, within Europe itself, we have 14 countries growing at greater than 10%. We had 8 all-time records in the last quarter. So our European business feels very well set for the next 1, 2, 3 years. No issues currently.
Paul Venables, Finance Director at Hayes, thank you very much for joining us this morning.